The story begins in a unique world where every human had their own magical animal. It was a rule that all humans must have an animal with them, which would be connected to their soul. If either partner moved away from the other, both would die. This was also true for witches, but they could create magical animals that allowed them to survive away from the witches. However, if either one lost their life, the other would die too. Now, let's go back a few years to an ancient church. Many good fathers had come to this church, but the current father was very cruel and wicked. This father would manipulate people to get his work done, and his goal was to control everyone in the city so that they would do whatever he wanted. We learn about a very important device that has existed since ancient times, a golden compass. This golden compass had strange symbols inscribed on it. The ancient people used this compass to predict both their future and past. All the fathers who had come to the ancient church had used the golden compass very effectively, but this cruel and wicked father did not want people to use it at all. If they did, it would ruin his entire operation, and people would see into the future and find out what the father intended to do next. Therefore, at the father's behest, many people began to destroy the golden compass. Luckily, one copy of the golden compass remained, and no one knew where it was now. The story then shifts to the present, where a girl named Lara is enjoying herself in a garden. Lara loved the open sky and the jungle. She had been an orphan since childhood, but fortunately, she had been adopted by a wealthy businessman. This businessman came to talk to Lara, saying he had to go out of town for an important meeting and couldn't leave her alone at home. So, he used his contacts to send Lara to a boarding school with other children. However, once she got there, Lara felt completely alone. But Lara wasn't afraid of the naughty kids there at all. One day, many students at school were bothering a little boy. Lara quickly went to that spot and taught the naughty kids a lesson. She rescued the little boy and took him to a different place, but the troublemakers continued to chase her. Lara deliberately threatened the naughty boys, saying that if anyone tried to touch her, she would cast a spell and eliminate them. She claimed to have a magical coat that would burn them all. However, the naughty boy said he didn't believe her words. He challenged her to bring the magical coat in front of him. By then, the naughty boys had left. Lara took the weak child to a church, where she began searching for the magical coat. Shortly after, she heard someone coming inside the church and quickly hid in a cupboard. Inside the church, the city's mayor had also arrived, accompanied by the dangerous father. The father informed the mayor about Lara's stepfather, who was a very wealthy businessman. Despite being warned, Lara's stepfather had gone to a place where he was exploring. Therefore, Lara's father could become a threat to everyone. In fact, it was the father who had manipulated the mayor into wanting to kill Lara's father, the businessman. The mayor then ordered that something poisonous be mixed into the businessman's drink so that he would suffer and die on the spot. Lara, hiding in the cupboard, overheard all this, and soon after, the businessman arrived. The dangerous father mixed some poison into the drink, intending to kill the businessman. The father knew that a few years ago, Lara's father had tried very hard to find the golden compass, so he wanted to eliminate his competition. Without thinking twice, the businessman drank the poisoned drink, but just as he did, Lara came out and threw it away. She informed her father that his drink had been poisoned. But Lara did not recognize the mayor and the father, so she didn't have much information about them. However, after this incident, the businessman became very alert. Lara's father was now presenting a very advanced machine in front of the church members, which could help in obtaining the golden compass. In fact, this machine, when activated, would search for a mist that was connected to the golden compass. If this machine was further developed and studied, the golden compass could be in their hands. But the father managed to convince the church members to reject the businessman's idea because if everyone obtained the golden compass, no one would be afraid anymore. Lara's father, the businessman, stated that he needed funding, but the church members refused. He declared that regardless of the circumstances, he would complete his experiment and obtain the golden compass. The businessman was talking about going to another world, but the church members laughed at him. The following night, it was revealed that orphan children were suddenly disappearing. Someone was abducting both the orphan children and their magical animals. Lara and her friend were very disturbed by this because some of the missing children were their friends. Lara started thinking about how to solve this problem. Now, the businessman came to Lara and informed her that he was going away again for his research, and she would have to take care of herself in his absence. Lara understood that if her father left, she would feel very lonely, so she requested to accompany him and enjoy the adventure. However, the businessman made it clear that it was not a place for fun and that there could be danger to life there. He left Lara at school while he went for his research. Now we see a scene at the school where all the children are sitting down for dinner. Suddenly, a very wealthy and beautiful lady arrives. She converses very nicely with the staff members and then approaches Lara directly. The way Lara was communicating, the lady really liked Lara, which is why Lara became her favorite student. During their conversation, the lady asked Lara if she would go with her to London, where there were many adventurous things. The lady even promised to take Lara to that new world where her father had just gone, so Lara agreed to everything the lady said. We learn that many of Lara's friends, including Jack, have also been kidnapped. Now, the unknown lady took Lara directly to the city, where they were having a lot of fun. However, before going to London, Lara had received the golden compass from the headmaster of her school. The headmaster knew that everyone had now learned about the golden compass, so it was no longer safe at school. For this reason, he had given the golden compass to Lara and told her not to tell anyone about it. Lara began to explore many places with the lady, but she reminded the lady that she had promised to take her to the other world. However, the lady had not yet told Lara anything about that other world. When Lara returned to her room, she opened the golden compass. The needle of the compass was repeatedly pointing toward one lady, but Lara, being just a child, had no idea about all this and ignored the symbols. The next day, when she went to the lady, she was behaving quite strangely. Before Lara could understand anything, the lady commanded her magical animal to attack. In fact, the lady wanted to snatch the golden compass from Lara, and this was all part of her plan. Lara quickly ran into a chamber where she saw some torn pieces of newspapers. After reading them, she realized that this lady was part of a group that had been continuously kidnapping orphan children recently, which meant that the lady also intended to kidnap her. The wicked lady quickly came and grabbed the golden compass, but just then, a flying bird belonging to Lara swooped in and took the golden compass away. Lara began to flee for her life, but there were the lady's men present who captured her by binding her in a net. Lara felt that there were no chances of her escape. But then, a good team of school teachers arrived at the scene, who defeated the dangerous lady's men and rescued Lara. The teachers informed Lara that their entire group had set out to save the kidnapped children. Lara insisted that she would help save her friends, so the teachers took her along on the mission, boarding their ship. Now, Lara placed the golden compass in front of all the senior members. An old man looked at it and said that no one could read this golden compass because it required certain special people with abilities to do so. Lara then revealed that she had just read the golden compass a little while ago, which made everyone realize that Lara was the one capable of reading it. Everyone began to help Lara, using the golden compass to locate the kidnapped children. Lara carefully observed all the symbols that would appear in the future, allowing her to determine the location of the kidnapped children. Now their entire team set sail on a large boat to reach that place. On the other hand, the dangerous lady sent 2 small flying insects to keep an eye on Lara. The insects quickly reached Lara and began to attack her magical animal. The rest of the teachers were helping Lara to catch the insects. They managed to catch one insect, but the other one succeeded in escaping. This made Lara realize that everyone was after her life. Later, while Lara was standing on the ship at night, a very kind witch appeared. This witch wanted to help Lara because she was genuinely good. She informed Lara that she was on the right path, but the enemies had started kidnapping all the children and experimenting on them. They wanted to find out whether humans could survive without their magical animals. If this experiment was not stopped, many orphan children would lose their lives. After learning everything, Lara became even more determined to move forward. There was also an astrologer on the ship, with whom Lara had formed a good friendship. The astrologer informed Lara that there was a bear on their ship. Lara was eager to meet the bear and quickly went inside. The bear was enormous and surprisingly, it could speak. However, the bear looked very sad because it told Lara that its armor had been lost somewhere, and without that armor, it couldn't go outside. Understanding the bear's pain, Lara set out to find the bear's armor with the help of the golden compass. She eventually found the armor on a nearby island. After giving it to the bear, it put it on and became ready. The bear thanked Lara, saying that it had now become her servant and that she was his little princess, promising to always protect her. Riding on the bear, Lara headed out to rescue all her kidnapped friends. Upon reaching the location, the security guards started to attack. It turned out that the mastermind behind everything was none other than the church's father, who had kidnapped the orphan children and conducted experiments on them. The bear began fighting off the soldiers to protect Lara. Lara managed to escape into a building where her friend Jack was located. Jack was in very bad shape because his magical animal had been killed, and if he didn't get another animal, he would die as well. Lara took Jack with her to join the other teachers, but on the way, they were ambushed by some unknown people. The bear was busy fighting the soldiers, which allowed the unknown soldiers and some bears to capture Lara and take her to their king's palace in a snowy area. There, all the bears were gathered, and their king was seated on the throne. It was revealed that the good bear who had saved Lara's life was also part of this group, but it had been separated forever. Lara was presented before the Bear King, who asked her why she was there. Understanding that she needed to think quickly, Lara responded that she was a bear's belly. The king laughed because bears didn't have bellies. Lara deliberately praised the good bear to make a good impression. In front of the king, Lara also claimed that her bear was so powerful that no one could defeat it. The Bear King became very angry at this and challenged Lara to a fight with her bear. Lara was confident that her good bear had armor, which increased their chances of winning significantly. Soon, her bear arrived at the place where the fight would take place against the king. A fierce battle erupted between Lara's bear and the king. Both were determined to defeat each other, but ultimately, Lara's bear managed to catch the king in a chokehold and threw him away. After the king's defeat, Lara's bear became the new king among the bears. The bear told Lara that they had to go to the other world and rescue the children. With that, they set off together towards the experimental site. As they climbed up a snowy path, the snow suddenly began to crack. The bear advised Lara to get off him and continue moving forward since her weight was less, making it easier for her to get across. Just then, a crevice formed in the snow, and the bridge collapsed. Lara decided that she would go to the experimental site alone to rescue the children. The bear wanted to help Lara in any way he could but was ultimately unsuccessful. Upon reaching the experimental laboratory, the doctors were thrilled to see Lara because the children were approaching her on their own. Lara was taken to join the other children who were in a chamber. Jack, her friend, was also there and very happy to see her. However, Lara told Jack that they needed to behave normally. She made it clear that she had come to rescue all of them, so they needed to quickly come up with a plan to escape. But the most terrifying thing was that the dangerous lady entered the laboratory. She instructed her doctors to begin the experiments on the children. As soon as the doctors saw Lara, then they immediately began to capture her. They forcibly put Lara into a small cage, where some experiments were about to begin. The doctors likely wanted to check what changes occurred in Lara's body by harming her animal. However, before they could do anything, the dangerous lady arrived and ordered them to stop the experiments. She opened the chamber and rescued Lara. Once Lara regained consciousness, the same dangerous lady was in front of her, claiming, "I am your mother, and I hid all these things from you for a reason." But the lady kept asking Lara for the golden compass, which made Lara realize that she was just putting on an act. Therefore, she intentionally handed the lady a small box, making her believe it contained the golden compass. In reality, Lara was much smarter. The box contained a poisonous insect that affected the lady. Lara quickly escaped from the chamber and headed towards the machine that was about to experiment on the children. She tampered with the machine, causing it to explode shortly after. Now, Lara opened the door and was trying to help the other children escape, but soon, many soldiers arrived to kidnap the children. Just before the soldiers could attack, the bears appeared to protect the children and started fighting the soldiers. A massive battle broke out between the bears and the soldiers. All the witches had also arrived, shooting arrows from the sky. With so much support, they managed to defeat the soldiers, and all the children were completely freed. Lara was very happy to meet her friend Jack after such a long time. However, her journey wasn't over yet, as she still needed to find her father. Therefore, she set off on a new adventure with everyone else. And with this happy ending, our story comes to a close.